Number one step to starting your genealogy research. Welcome, everybody. My name is Irisneria Alicia Flores, and I am founder of Descubre Tu Historia, and I'm also a professional genealogist. And I help Latinos and Latinas connect to their roots through the building of a genealogy tree, connecting to their roots, connecting to their ancestor stories, just reclaiming that family history that otherwise will be lost to time, and also understanding more about the past, because when we understand about more about the past, we understand our present, and then it positions us in a better way for the future. All right, everybody. So, one of the first things everybody asks is, how do I even start? Well, let me tell you what not to do first. And this is like, I learned this and the hard way. Don't start with all your lines. In other words, let me put it this way. You have four grandparents, right? You have four grandparents, two sets of them. All right. That's how the best way for you to describe, so you can picture it. Let's say you're interested in, you want to start with all of them. Of course, you want to know all about all the four lines, all the four grandparents' lines. And okay, great. Don't do that. Don't do that, people. Because when you do that, you're gonna get overwhelmed. You are going to lose your way. You're gonna start confusing. Where am I? Who am I working on? All of that. And sorry, you're gonna start losing your way. So please, if you want to, this is what you want to do. If you want to start, this is what you want to do. You want to decide who you want to start with. So, for example, for me, it was once I reeled myself in, I decided I wanted to focus on my grandmother, my paternal grandmother. So, decide who. And then, once you decide who you want to start, which one of them you want to start with, or if you're a great grandparent, let's say, your great grandma, your paternal grandmother's mother. You heard so much about her and you just want to confirm some of those stories, then you want to, okay, but even though yes, you want to start with her, but you still need to research your grandmother. It is always you always start, once you decide, you start with the current generation. Gather as much information as you can. So go from you to your parents, or to your, let's say, your mother or your father, because we're talking about paternal right here. For this example, start with your father, his siblings, and then you go to his parents. Yes, you do want to include the grandfather, especially if your grandparents were married. You want to include, so to see, because your grandparents are going to appear in records together, but you're focusing on trying to get records for your grandmother, to try to get as much information for your great grandparents. But it's a process. It is step by step. Many times we just jump right to where we want to go, or we start everywhere. It is very important to focus your research. I personally just do it by family. So if I'm focusing on my great grandparents, let's say, then I'm focusing on my great grandparents, my great grandfather, my great grandmother, and their children, and trying to gather as much as I can for them. Granted, this is Hispanic genealogy. In Hispanic genealogy, you are going to want to go down to the grandchildren also. For the mere fact that some civil registration records in some of our countries, not all of them, do include grandparent information. So, number one step, Decide where you want to start and come back for my number two step. Bye, everybody.